This clip is brought to you by SaveWithConrad.com.
I have to apologize my mama down in Houston, Texas for yesterday, last week, coming on here all week trying to take my clothes off, you understand? Because after what happened to me, I wondered what was left. When they take everything from you, when they take all your titles, when they take all the match you won, put everything in perspective, they've taken everything but my clothes, and I got to thinking about an old saying. When you come from the dust, you ain't got nothing but your own birthday suit, you understand? So if I have to wear my birthday suit to get some attention, I will. And that is a fact. I'm Anderson. Right now, the fans told you your neck, your leg gonna be broken before it's all over, before it's through. And Tully Blanchard, the national heavyweight champion, running around with my title. I'm Anderson running around my title. The only thing that they ain't got is my lady. And there's another guy out here sporting some fine-looking woman. But let me tell you what, there ain't no lady, no woman, anywhere like the doll is. The doll is number uno. So let me tell you something, Tully Blanchard. You tell Rick Flair we got a date with Destiny in the Superdome, New Orleans, Louisiana. And I don't believe you're going to make it that far. I'll be looking at somebody else across that ring, Rick Flair, Slick Rick. So get ready for the biggest year in the history, because the dream, if I have to take my clothes off and go buck naked, live and in color on television, I call my mama and say, darling, don't watch, because I'm going to be running around showing it all. And it's going to happen, Jack.
The American Dream, Dusty Rhodes with Baby Doll. We are coming.
He oozes charisma, but every now and again, he'll just get lost.
Yeah.
He wanted to give a little subtle tongue-in-cheek inside baseball reference for Nikita's gal in the crowd for sure, though.
Yeah. So anyway, Jim, this and it's funny. I remember the story. I remembered it vividly now, and I love how this show brings out memories for me. Jim Osher's had all the guys over, all the people who ran buildings, building managers, and I believe it was building managers, had this big meeting and wanted Dusty to address it. So Dusty was sitting in the back of the room with a tie on, dressed up, kind of like it was what we saw right there. And Jim Osher says, we're going to have some speakers here in a moment. I want you to, most of you know who that heavy-set gentleman in the back of the room is. That's Dusty Rhodes. We'll have him up here in a minute. So Dusty came back to the office, and this was during the WCW era, okay? Came back to the office and said, can you imagine that motherfucker call me heavyset? It gets better. He said, what? He said, motherfucker, heavyset man in the back of the room. He said, why would he call me heavyset? I said, maybe because you're a fat ass motherfucker. I don't know. I had that special relationship with Dusty. I really, really did.
What was his response?
He would just stare at me. But and a lot of times Dusty always said about me, he said, you're the only person out there can call me a motherfucker or tell me to kiss her ass and I don't get mad at. He said that to me a lot. But he called him, and I got to thinking, why would Jim Osher call him that heavy-set gentleman in the back? Of course they all knew who Dusty was.
Of course.
Oh, God. But anyway, Jim Osher then worked for Turner, and Rob Garner did. And Rob Garner was a Charlotte guy that was, knew the Crockett's very, very well, and worked pretty hard. And I think he worked under Eric too. I'm sure he did. I don't think Osher did, but Rob Garner did. And we saw a guy on the end there, Andy Kaplan, with the tan I talked about in the tan. He was Francis Crockett's assistant general manager with the Charlotte baseball team. And I knew Andy when I started. He started the Charlotte baseball team at the same time. We became very good friends. And we had often said, this is before I got into wrestling, that whoever got to the major leagues first in baseball would get the other person in. And Andy called me one day and said, this was probably like 1988, probably. He called me, and he had just gotten the job with the New York Mets in the front office. And he called me to tell me that. And he said, I'm going to hold up my end of the bargain. He said, you're going to be the voice of the Mets here within the next couple of years. And I remember thinking, wow, I knew how Andy was. He was a pretty driven kid, and I knew he would make an effort, but I didn't think much of it. And the tragic thing of that story is 3 months later, Andy passed away, died tragically in his bed of a cerebral hemorrhage. But Andy was a good guy, man. Good. And then I saw Paul Bosch in there. Did you notice Paul with that raspberry colored leisure suit on?
That was cool, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was cool.
Hey, it's Conrad Thompson. Thanks for checking out the podcast here on YouTube. Be sure to hit the subscribe button and the notifications bell so you get a notice anytime we upload some new content. And go save yourself some money right now. If you're in a 30-year loan or you have credit card debt, it's not a matter of if I can save you money. It's a matter of how much. Find out right now for free at SaveWithConrad.com.